Now, last time you were here, we talked about having a natural body.
Yes.
And we asked if you would ever consider enhancing, modifying, or changing your body.
Yep.
And you have.
Yes, I have.
Explain what it is that's different about you this time.
I decided to get a breast augmentation.
A breast augmentation.
Yeah,
now,
got the girls out.
Was this something that you did on your own? Was this maybe a significant other suggesting to get it done? Maybe even helping sponsor it?
Shout out to the people who sponsored it, but nah, I wanted to get it done for myself, actually. I think I more so did it for the visual part. Like when I wear certain outfits, I had to wear a bra even if I didn't want to, and just, I wanted to feel how I looked, which is beautiful, and I thought that if I got them done, that I would be more beautiful, feel more beautiful.
And since you have gotten them done, and you've gotten them done, what, a month, 2 months, 3 months ago?
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have these feelings that you imagined or you thought?
Yes, I love them. I mean, the first week that I got them, I cried a lot because I had booby blues, I guess that's what you call it, when I went through that phase of what the hell did you do? Like, why did you do this to yourself? Like, they were big, but they were swollen. So I kind of cried, and I was just like, oh my God, I messed myself up bad. I shouldn't have did this. And I really didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't talk to anybody and tell them, except for my close friends and family, just because it was one of those things that I had to get through before I brought it out to the world.
Now, how long before you actually brought it out to the world?
I think I hit Snapchat like maybe 3 or 4 days post-op, but like to full-on chest pictures, I probably waited like 2-3 weeks to post a picture with like where you could see the difference.
So when you go on Snapchat, are you just like it's a regular day in your life, like nothing ever happened, or are you celebrating?
Yeah, I kind of like
you just scored a
waited
touchdown.
to say, like, I still haven't really acknowledged that I got them done. It was kind of like I'm still acting regular about it, just like going on, just seeing what kind of feedback I would get naturally instead of pointing it out myself and having people then comment and question.
Did people notice a difference right away?
I think some of the guys on my Snapchat were like, oh, something's different. Your girls got bigger. So I was like, okay, glad you noticed.
Sometimes when people enhance themselves from their natural look, even if it's a flaw in it, and when I say a flaw, I'll give you an example. There's some people out there that may have a gap between their teeth, right? And they go and fix the gap. They get the veneers or lumineers.
Right.
And you'll have people that say, wow, you're beautiful with the fixing of the gap, but we thought you were just as pretty with the space between your teeth. And maybe that even actually added character, and they like that even more. I don't know. So did you get feedback like that? Like, hey, we liked how your body was before.
I got feedback like that. Mostly it comes from guys when they're like, you were beautiful, I'm not a boob guy. I don't care about boobs anyway, so it doesn't matter. You were beautiful. And I'm just like, I didn't do it for you, I did it for me, because if I would have did it for you, we would have the same kind of boobs. So.
Now, when it comes to the breast augmentation, do you feel like this was the right time? I mean, I don't know your age, but was this the right time for you? Do you wish you would have gotten this sooner in your life? Do you wish you would have waited a little more from the point you got them now? Is this too late for you? How do you view yourself?
I think the timing for me was perfect because I'm at a point where I needed a transition from like my career is transitioning, and I just thought that it would be the perfect time. And I mentally thought on it for a long time. And I think with anybody even thinking about a surgery, you should just think on it at least a year or two before you actually go and do it, just so that you'll know that you're doing it for yourself and not everybody else. And I think it's something that you should at least talk to yourself about for a year, and then maybe if you want to discuss it with your peers, you can.
So this is something you thought about for a year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it for longer than a year, but I'm just saying as far as like really actually saying okay as to look for doctors, probably about a year.
So this wasn't spontaneous.
No.
This wasn't maybe a new significant other in your life maybe trying to suggest it or trying to fix you like a toy, so to speak. Wasn't one of those situations.
Not one of those things. Actually, you know, the guys that, you know, are in my life or friends, family, anybody, they're kind of like, I mean, I don't like boobs, or, you know, you look, your regular boobs look fine. But I just didn't want to have to keep putting on bras with outfits that I didn't need a bra for or shouldn't have needed a bra for.
You currently don't have any children.
No.
Sometimes when women get breast augmentations, maybe they've thought about it, but they don't actually go through it until after a pregnancy, where their breasts go through life-changing things with breastfeeding and that sort of thing. Maybe it wasn't even something they thought about, and then after going through that and childbirth, then suggestions come about or their own thoughts come about, hey, let's fix this up.
Right.
Is that something you thought about? Like, I don't know how kids are in a thought process of you for the future, but did you think, maybe I'll just wait till, just in case I have children, or is this going to be an issue when you have children?
It won't be an issue when you have children, when you get a breast augmentation. These are all the questions that I discussed with my doctor before I went, you know, ahead and got them done. I think for the most part, the only thing that my doctor said would be an issue is that when I go back, if I go back after I have children, that I would need a lift. And I opted out for a lift. I just got an implant. And I opted out of the breast augmentation just because with the lift, it's because they have a scar that goes up your breast and around your areola. And I didn't really want that just for visuals. Like, I don't want my guy friend just seeing a big scar or having to cover it up at certain points.
I see. Now, is this saline? Is this silicone? Is this gummy bear?
It's like a gummy bear silicone.
And what size were you before?
I was a 34C, but I wasn't like a full C. So now I'm a 34 double D.
Now, where did you get these done at? Did you stay in Atlanta? Did you go back to North Carolina?
I stayed in Atlanta. Shout out to Dr. Larson. He got me right. These girls look nice.
And how did you go about picking him out of any doctor you could have gone to?
I actually was at a club and I saw a girl, a club that I used to work at, and I saw a girl and I was like, oh my God, your boobs look amazing. And she said, I got them done by Dr. Larson. And then from there, I was like, oh my God, I got to look up his work. And then a few more girls in the club said they got their boobs done from him. And so I kind of looked him up on Real Self, did some research, and then I went in for a consultation. And then after that, it was kind of like, okay, I'm setting up my payments and everything.
So this is a doctor you wanted?
Yes.
Did you seek out other doctors?
Before him, I was looking at other doctors. I can't really remember their names right now, but once I saw his work and how clean and how natural the boobs looked, I was just like, I gotta go with him.
Now, when it comes to choosing a doctor, is chemistry important? Like, let's say you like his work, but maybe you didn't gel with him chemistry-wise. Right. Would you still go ahead with somebody like that, or how does that work?
I think for each person it's different, because I was talking to one girl and she told me that she met with him and he wasn't meshing with her chemistry. She was like, I just felt like he wasn't there. And I was like, I loved his chemistry. I thought we were like here eye to eye, and he wasn't too friendly, he wasn't too standoffish. He told me exactly what I needed. The nurses were helpful, and so it made me want to work with him, because I don't like for somebody to oversell me on something, because I'm starting to get paranoid now.
I want to discuss the size later in this segment,
Okay.
but before then, let's talk about the actual surgery. Nervous before the surgery? Did you have thoughts on, hey, let's cut this, I don't want to do this anymore? Did you have cold feet?
I think I'm a daredevil, so I'm never really scared until it's time to actually go through with the whole process. I think I was more sleepy than anything because it was at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to be at the office and I was tired. And so they went ahead and gave me the medicine and I wasn't really scared. After that, I was asleep.
I see. And what about signing that waiver? You got to sign your life away, don't you?
Yeah, just
when you do a surgery like this?
Yeah, you sign paperwork just saying that you give the doctor permission to work on you and that it is a practice and nothing is, guaranteed and that there may be some complications as far as scarring or, death and everything else that could possibly happen.
How did the operation actually go?
The operation went smooth. I think it was an hour and a half. And
very fast.
I woke up and was able to walk around and be on my feet.
What was the recovery process like for you?
The recovery process was smooth for me.
I've heard nightmare stories.
Yeah, for me it was really smooth. Like I said, I was up and walking around the first day. When I got home, I was kind of like trying to peek through the bandages like, oh, I want to know how they look. And the second day, I guess once the medicine that they give you in the hospital wore off, it was kind of like pain, and I had to kind of like hold my chest everywhere I walked. But after that, second or third day, I was fine. They gave me Percocets and Valiums to keep the pain down and keep me sane.
Did you enjoy that?
I did.
Okay. Some people enjoy it too much and they get addicted to it, believe it or not.
Yeah, no. I would not do it. The constipation is bad when you're taking Percocets and stuff, so it's not really a fun thing to do. I don't see how people get addicted to it.
Some people can, though.
Yeah, I know.
Now, when it comes to the recovery process, did you follow doctor's orders or did you bend the rules?
I bent the rules a little, not too much though. I guess I bent the rules when it comes to massaging. You're supposed to massage 7 times a day, and I was only probably doing about 3 or 4.
What about, did you have to wear like a surgical bra or something to hold everything together?
No, actually, I just had to wear a sports bra. They just required me to not wear any underwire for the first month. And after that, I could wear like a regular bra that has underwire.
Now, some nightmare stories with the recovery process happens from people that don't follow doctor's orders.
Right.
I've heard of breasts not falling into the pocket.
Right.
And when the doctor has to go pop it back in the pocket, that's a very painful experience.
Right.
I've heard of breasts becoming lopsided from not following doctor's orders. And various other things.
I think for me, the reason why, even with me not massaging 7 times a day, I was massaging them, but just not 7 times a day. And everything else was pretty much in place. I was doing everything else that they told me, and they kept me coming like every week. So for the first month and a half, I was going every week to the doctor just so that they could make sure that nothing was going wrong. So I think that's something else that I like about Dr. Larson. He kept me coming back every week just to make sure it was sitting in the right place.
Now, what about do's and don'ts? Somebody watching this just got their breasts done, right? Enhanced. Any do's or don'ts you would tell somebody watching this right now?
Do's and don'ts.
Any advice?
You cannot smoke or drink, like I think a week or 2 before your surgery. Don't try to fly in the airport and carry a duffel bag, because I actually went to the airport like maybe the 2nd or 3rd week, and I was getting faint and short of breath, and it was hard for me to even get around, and it was painful So don't wear a duffel bag or anything. Try to lift anything really heavy. Just take some time off. Like, I know a lot of dancers that go right back to work, and that can also mess it up. I just would say just stay home, relax, make sure that you have enough money for all your bills to be paid up for the month, and just relax. That's what I did.
How much time did you take off of work?
Well, as far as videos goes, I was like right back, like maybe the second week, if not like a week before I did Lil Baby's video, and so it was like a week.
Wow.
All right. And then I actually had to get body painted for that video, so it was like very stressful on me because I was trying not to get the scars, the incisions with painting them.
What about another thing that happens when women get an augmentation is after some time, the boobs will drop. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
Naturally drop into like the correct position they're supposed to.
Right. That's
so they're
gravity.
high a little bit when you get them done, then over some time they'll drop a little bit. Was that okay for you did your boobs look too high or too close to your neck during that little baby shoot?
I was actually fortunate enough not to have high sitting boobs. I think it depends on each girl. Like, the smaller you are, the tighter your chest cage is, the higher your boobs will probably have to sit because you put an implant in something that's really tight and it expands. So I was fortunate enough to have like elastic in my skin to where I didn't have them sitting up too high.
Have you gone back and just checked maybe that video just to see how you look compared to how you are now and just kind of...
Oh, yeah. I've gone back, and they were like Dolly Parton to me in my eyes. But they look good. They look good.
Any complications? Doesn't sound like you had any, but any complications from this surgery?
No, not so much. Like, I hear stories of girls like going blind and that type of thing, and those are the things that I was concerned about. But so far, no real pain or problems.
Now, were you happy with the new size?
I was not happy at first. I thought they were really big, and I did not factor in the fact that I already had boobs when I looked at the sizers that they gave me. And I was like, okay, looking at the shirts, like, okay, this isn't big enough. But I already had boobs, and so they just added to it, which made it a 34 double D instead of just a 34D. Because I originally wanted to stay at 34C. I just wanted to go maybe fuller. And I went up 2 sizes. So I wasn't happy at first, but now I'm comfortable with it.
Now, when I do these types of interviews, more often than not, well, before I even say this part, let me ask you this. When you were going for the choosing of the size, what did the doctor recommend?
They don't really recommend anything. I showed him, I think I got, I can't remember the size at first, but it was like really huge. And he's like, that looks good. And I just told him, like, Dr. Larson, in the urban community, we want to be proportionate, because I know sometimes in the Caucasian community, big boobs is a thing. So I told him that I wanted to stay proportionate with my chest to butt to hip ratio so that I wouldn't feel like my butt was too small now and my boobs were bigger.
Now, the reason why I ask is because sometimes women want too big, and a doctor may be like, well, we can't go that big. It's not healthy for the person's size. And then sometimes maybe a girl wants them too small, and a doctor will say, hey, maybe you should go bigger, because women usually want them bigger after they have the augmentation.
I think for me, he just said, because I wanted them to look natural, he said to me that I would probably have to go up in size because of the fact that I didn't want to get a lift. And so in order for you to still have a cleavage at the top, you would need to go larger if you didn't want to lift. And so I had to go larger instead of a natural, normal size.
So back to what I was saying right before I cut myself off, I was going to say that usually after a woman is done with augmentation, they usually wish they went for a bigger size than what they actually got. In most cases, when I've done the interview, that's what happened.
Right.
But for you, you're satisfied.
I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Now I'm satisfied. At first I thought they were too big, and now I'm satisfied with the size because they look good for what I was going for, the look I was going for.
Did your mom know about this surgery, or did you surprise her with it?
No, she was actually there with me.
Oh, okay.
She knew. My mom is like my best friend, so I always try to make decisions and include her in them because I feel like she'll give me the best feedback and motherly advice, because sometimes we can be irrational as people sometimes, and so I just want to make sure that somebody keeps me on the straight path thinking wise.
She was okay with the surgery?
Yes. She at first she was like, you don't need it, and she was like, I don't want you looking like a plastic doll, and I'm like, I'm not going large, because I think in her mind she thought I was going to go big or go home. But once she came with me to a consultation, she was kind of like, okay. She was the one kind of like, oh, go bigger, go that size. I'm like, I'm not going that size.
Speaking of a doll, some people can get addicted to body enhancing and body modification. Do you think this is going to be a gateway towards other things of you modifying yourself, or?
No, I think I'm happy with the boobs. I mean, now in the near future, if I want to go and get them, like once I have children, I might get them reduced or either lifted, but after that, nah, I'm kind of done.
Now, you're open to admitting you had this done. Some people aren't. Why? Why are you so?
I was just talking to a friend of mine about this, and my mom, because a lot of people, like guys were like, hey, did you get your boobs done? And I'm kind of like, having surgery is a personal choice. I feel like it's a personal thing with that person. It's a hard decision to make because you're doing something that could possibly harm you, and you don't want people to try to sway you. And so I think for some people it can be a nerve-wracking thing to have so many people in your ear like, don't do it, or do it, or, you know, I think that's bad, I think you'll look ugly, and tell you their horror stories. And so I think that people don't want to talk about it because people get judged a lot from having surgery. They like, you know, you're fake, it's team natural over here, you should be team natural. And we live in a society where everybody's having surgery now. So it's not one of those things that a lot of people like to talk about because they don't like to tell their doctor. They don't want people to judge them. They don't want to seem unnatural.
I see. You actually shouted your doctor out.
Yeah.
Why did you?
Because he was so awesome to me, and I just, you know, he really changed my life because I love my boobs. I feel empowered, and so I can do that much to say thank you.
Does the price for bookings and stuff go up now? Because
oh yeah, you got the boobs, you got the girls, the price goes up for everything. Increase on videos, increase on, you know, now if they want like implied nudes, everything costs because, you know, you got to make that money back.
Have you noticed different attention from guys now that didn't even see you before or notice you had these before?
Yeah, I think it makes me look fuller, like more mature, I guess. It kind of did something to my shape, made me look full.
Is it a different type of guy? I know girls holler at you too. Is it a different type of women that holler at you now? Is it? No. I think like they say on Instagram, I look more goddessy, if that is a word. It made me look more professional, more like a Instagram model, I guess. Do people think you look fake?
No, I haven't heard that. They look really natural. So because a lot of people couldn't tell, they just noticed something, and they, like you said earlier, scroll down my Instagram and they notice the change from the pictures.
Have you thought about taking the old pictures down?
Not really, because it's not that much of a change, and I love my pictures. I'm kind of like a OCD type of thing, and they got a lot of likes, so I keep them.
For now.
For now, yeah, until I take some better ones.